Segura just took a sizzler off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez. Grabbed it out of the air. Dove to the bag. We go to the bottom of the 10th.
So Munoz is the runner at third. Segura is at second. Guthrie is at first. And Phillies trying to win it.
Matt Beerling is 4 for 4. A bouncer into center field. Matt Beerling has won the ball game. Here in the bottom of the 10th inning, his first ever 5-hit night, and the Phillies come from behind and win it 4-3. What a celebration! Woo!
The Philadelphia Fightin' Phils get themselves a walk-off come-from-behind victory against the Toronto Blue Jays and avoid a disastrous 2008 U.S. economy level collapse. So far, for one more night, they put it off. This is Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, gambling. I'm on the internet, so you don't have to be. Thursday night football preview coming up a wee bit later. We're going to run through a quick show today. Shouldn't be too bad. A little bit of baseball here, a little bit of baseball there. Remember to like, rate, review, and subscribe if you like the show. Help people find it. You can also watch on YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for hanging out for the YouTube viewers. YouTube is better than podcasts. Ha, ha, ha. Just kidding. I don't know. I like all of my listener equally. Let's start with some shade. Today's going to be a shady day. Be a lot of shade. First bit of shade we have is that Joe Burrow, after starting 0-2 and looking like garbage for standing in the pocket long enough to eat a sandwich, has subsequently deleted Twitter and Facebook. Wait, no, Twitter and Instagram. He forgot he had Facebook. I don't have Twitter or Instagram right now, so I've seen none of it. But believe me, buddy, all you have to do is pull up the Google app on your phone and go to twitter.com, and you can log right in. That's what I did when I deleted the Facebook app. I still hate Facebook now. I don't really go on Facebook. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But most people told them, yeah, when you delete Twitter or Instagram, all the people who are like 35 right now, around my age, told them, yeah, we've tried that. It doesn't work. You just end up back on Facebook. That'll work, right? That'll help me focus and block out the noise. Amari St. Brown, the Detroit Lions wide receiver who's been roasting the NFL. In the last 8 games, dating back to last year, he's essentially been one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in the NFL and has put up stats that are literally the best in the history of the sport. Like something like 8 straight games with at least 8 catches. 6 straight games with at least 8 catches and a touchdown, like literally beating records with like Antonio Brown, Jerry Rice, Michael Thomas, like crazy shit. He is like he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. He is a superstar. He remembers every single wide receiver drafted in front of him. Remember we played that clip from Hard Knocks? Well, in the best game of his career where he had 119 receiving yards and 68 rushing yards and 2 receiving touchdowns, he was playing against the Washington Commanders, who took a receiver, I don't know, it wasn't one of the best guys, because he's still mad at the guys who took like Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith. But those guys are legit. Nobody thinks that those are bad draft selections. Nobody thinks that they should have taken Amari St. Brown over those guys. However, people like Tutu Atwell and Amari Brown for the Washington Commanders, everyone's like, guys, what were you doing? Look at Amari St. Brown. And so he played one of those guys over the weekend, and then he was asked about it, and this is what he had to say.
You know, the draft, it is what it is. I think, even the Commanders, they got a guy before me over there. I believe his name is Amari Brown. I don't know how many catches he had. You guys can probably tell me
0. He had 0 catches. He had 0 yards. He played 1 snap.
that, or how many yards he had, but I don't forget things like that. You know, I see him across the sideline from where I'm standing during the game, and I'm gonna give every team hell.
Honestly, we're watching family a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't see him in the game much.
Yeah, he's like from the sideline. He said he was like staring at him. I didn't see him in the game much. I like that. Good for you, bud. Rub it in their face. It's just because he's not fast or big. Pretty important parts of being a football player. Hey, that's scouting, dude. Justin Fields apologized for saying that the fans don't care.
You know, I was mad after the game, and I like to address this now to get everything cleared up. But you know, there was a thing that I said on Sunday after the game where I said, the fans don't put in work, and when I was, first off, I was frustrated after the game, so number one, I didn't want to come and talk to you guys. I wasn't in the mood to come and talk to you guys.
That's really big of him to say it that way. because it doesn't fucking matter. You have to. But it's good to say it that way. I mean, that's human. I like that.
I should have did a better job explaining what I meant by that.
Yep.
But what I meant by that was I'm talking about work, regarding the game on Sunday, winning the game. I don't know any fans.
He's clearly very smart. What he needs to do is take some of his rookie contract, which is worth like $18-20 million, and he needs to find whoever the Mannings and Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady use and be like, hey, can I just have like a couple hours of your time? Will you teach me how to do this? Because when you're boring and you pay money to become boring publicly, then people will leave you the fuck alone.
I don't know what they're doing in their personal lives, and I respect every fan that we have.
Yep, okay, got it. I like that. It's a good apology. It's a good response. Magnus Carlsen broke his silence about the whole thing, and he's like, after this tournament, I'll talk about it more. Chess has never been this popular. Like, this has made chess more infamous than any Queen's Gambit show ever possibly could. I'm not going to play the interview. It is 8.5 minutes long. But essentially, he didn't really say anything. He just implicated, like, maybe I think he's cheating. Cool, whatever. Like, we'll deal with that later at a time when he is willing to shit on the guy he thinks is cheating. Ted Lasso, huge news. Groundbreaking news regarding Ted Lasso. Let's take a look.
He doesn't do things conventionally, but then again, none of the great managers do.
Why does it look so weird? Why does it look so uncanny valley?
Proven he belongs in the game.
He didn't know a thing about football, but that didn't matter.
He's someone you just can't help but root for.
He knows how to block out the noise.
He's a great manager and an even better man. And if you tell him I said that, I will brain you.
Oh, that's right, baby. You can play with creepy Jason Sudeikis on FIFA. FIFA 23, baby. You can play with AFC Richmond and Jason Sudeikis, a.k.a. Ted Lasso, on FIFA 23. This is so creepy. Wow. We gotta figure video games out, man. EA Sports can kiss my ass. This is gross. I love the idea. Look at that is Jason Sudeikis. We gotta stop with the AI robots, and we gotta stop with Jason Sudeikis looking like a real person. No, but nobody likes Tom Hanks in the Polar Express. Ugh. All right, let's get to some sports. How about some sports? Just kidding. I have another cool story for you. Let's go to TickTock, where this kid in Ohio has commandeered the OSU women's basketball username. And what I mean by that is he simply has the OSU women's basketball username for TickTock. And TickTok in women's athletics is enormous. That's how there's recruiting. And the female athletes in college, at the college level, are enormous on TickTok. It's a huge deal. A lot of players are stars, and because of NIL, they can make money. So their colleges want to support them by making a TikTok, etc. This kid owns the OSU one, and it is about to be a battle. He's just rubbing it in their face. Let's watch this. Hey, Ohio State women's basketball, send me all the lawsuits you want. I'm not backing down. He is keeping it for $2.5 million. And he's got this Ohio State Buckeyes. It says hoops, which apparently he's smart enough to understand the branding difference between hoops and basketball, so he doesn't get sued. But they are coming after him. There he is. God, TikTok is so stupid. This is just a tweet. There it is. Cease and desist order. He's got the thing as the logo so that it can confuse people on the internet. That is objectively hilarious. Let's check it with Mike McDaniel when we're going to do our TikToks. Mike McDaniel was asked if he sleeps more or less now as a head coach. He's the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, FYI, and he's 2-0, and things are going really well. He's a dweeb. He's the one that likes to smoke weed and is now an NFL head coach. He's like the exact opposite of Dan Campbell and Mike Vrabel.
I get more sleep now than I did in my past endeavors. It's partially because it didn't matter. I used to be able to really push it from game day to almost Wednesday without showering. Now that would be obvious.
Because he used to be, a runt, and now he's an NFL head coach. He's killing it. The Dolphins are killing it. Let's transition to Thursday Night Football and give you some best bets. Boy, real stinker on the docket tonight. But in the defense of Amazon Prime, the game is on Amazon Prime. The game is on Amazon Prime. The game is on Amazon Prime. Okay. In the defense of Amazon Prime, this looked like a sick game when they put it on the schedule. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers headed to the Cleveland Browns. The marquee matchup of Mitch Trubisky versus Jacoby Brissett. God damn, it's going to be a barn burner. Everyone thinks this is going to be the opposite of football. And this is essentially, geographically and literally, this is a Big Ten football game. And what that means is, if you take out Ohio State and Penn State from the Big Ten, what that means is all of the offensive plays your dad would watch and be like, what are they doing? Nobody's going to run any of those plays. So the Browns have 2 really good running backs, and the Steelers have a kind of good running back who's young and also kind of hurt. So everyone thinks the Browns are going to win. The Browns are favored. -4.5. Should bring up the bet slip. There it is. I have some bets for you to consider. These are just my thoughts. I have no real read on this game other than I think that Cleveland at home, after losing the way they did to the Jets, are in an enormous letdown spot here, and that without a grown man at quarterback, which Jacoby Brissett's a grown man. He's a fine backup. He's one of the best backups in the last 10 years in the NFL, actually. But without the big playmakers and whatnot, if the Steelers are able to corral Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the running backs for the Browns, if the Steelers are able to just stop that a little bit, the Browns have no real way to score home runs. They do have an excellent offensive line and those 2 sweet running backs. And the Pittsburgh Steelers lost their best player for the entire year, T.J. Watt, who tore his pec. Therefore, the Browns are favored by 4.5, which is a weird line. I don't know if it's fishy, but it is definitely weird. I like the Steelers to cover the spread. 4.5 means that the Browns have to score almost a touchdown more than the Steelers. That's a lot of points for either of them to score. The over-under's at 38.5, which we discussed. That's a preseason over-under. That is tiny. I do have right up here some over-unders for players for you. I'm staying away from the total. I'm staying away from it because it could go. Well, actually, you know what? Never mind. I might place it. I might go ahead and place a pretty big bet on the over just because you're literally never out of it. If it's 7-3 at halftime, you're not out of it. You need 4 touchdowns. That's 2 each. It's what I mean. Like you're never out of this over under. I might say go ahead and smash that over under. Plus there are some big playmakers in this game. Chase Claypool. So let's go over some. Let's take a look see at some of what Vegas expects them to do. And remember, if you're not into the gambling portion of the program, the reason to listen to the gambling portion of this program is so that we can understand what people think is going to happen. For example, the receiver props in this game are really strange. Deontay Johnson under 56.5 yards. Both quarterbacks are expected to throw for less than 200 yards. Holy shit, this is going to be boring. If you have Deontay Johnson on your fantasy team, you're probably freaking out. Also, Pat Freiermuth is over-under for receiving yards is 34.5, which is tiny. Why? Because the Cleveland Browns have this freak safety linebacker thing called Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and he is so good. It's insane how good he is. He plays a position that doesn't exist. And he's going to guard Freiermuth. But there's no amount of speed and athleticism that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah can have that can make him 6'6". So I think that Pat's going to be fine. I love the Steelers. Wait. I got the Steelers +4. Has the line moved in the time since I prepped the show? Because it's +4.5. Woo, yeah. Then if the line's moving, yeah, take the Steelers to beat the spread. I think Vegas is freaked out. This late week line movement means that. So what happens in football if lines move a day or two before kickoff of a game? It means that either the Sharks and the general public are not on the same page, and the Sharks are manipulating the general public so that they can get the line to move. So what this means to me is they've always thought that Pittsburgh would cover, and they kind of are allowing the spread to go smaller, right? So maybe say it was like +4, and they're like, oh yeah, but Cleveland's really good. They have Nick Chubb and T.J. Watt's gone, and the Sharks are kind of helping the public to like bet it up because they're dumb, and then the line becomes bigger, so it's less of a problem for Pittsburgh to cover the spread. It's an amazing situation that's happening in sports gambling. So I like Pittsburgh to cover now that we've got this. Like literally since I've started recording, the line has moved. In the game, what you can watch for is it's NFL football on TV. I really can't sell you this game, what to be interested in about. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is electrifying. The Browns defense is electrifying. Nick Chubb is like a classic running back. For some reason, the way he moves his legs, he very much looks like he could have been like a running back in the 70s. And he's enormous. His legs are enormous. They're weapons. You got Maple and Oak. Let me get nicknames for your legs. Maple and Oak. Other reasons to watch this game is that when will we see Kenny Pickett? When can Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Steelers, not look his players in the eye and be like, yeah, Kenny gives us the best chance to win. So I like the Steelers. I love the over. I don't think it's going to go over, but I love it. If you're going to go out, have a beer, like, what are you going to root for? Points. I want a shit show. I want to pick 6. 38.5 is so effing low for two teams that are enjoyable. I just can't. I just can't not do it. I would totally do it. Aaron Judge is going for 61 home runs, excuse me. It's going to be on Apple TV if he ties or beats Roger Morris. If he hits one tomorrow, it'll be on Apple Mother Effin' TV, which is hilarious. And all the baseball people are freaking out. How can you ruin this moment for baseball? Believe me, folks. It's Friday, Football Friday in these United States. No one's watching. The exact same amount of people are watching on Apple TV as would be watching on TV, which is New Yorkers. No one cares. I will watch it on Twitter. It's Friday Night Lights in America. He needed to do this 2 weeks ago. I'm being kind of annoying, but like, it's true. I don't know what else you want from me. Tomorrow's Football Friday. Got a big slate of pretty sick games. College football conference schedules are coming out. So, back and better than ever tomorrow. Let's come hang out.